I am a 27 female and I have a younger brother, a sister, and a mom passed away in an accident 8 years ago. A father of 52, a male that I used to be very close before this, but we have drifted apart since then. The aftermath of such a profound loss reshaped my life and my relationships in ways I could never have anticipated, particularly with my father, with whom I was incredibly close before the tragedy. Growing up, I looked a lot like my sister, who was adored by our dad. They shared a special bond, often joking that she would take care of him when he got older. This dynamic changed dramatically after their deaths. I think seeing me might remind my dad of her, which might be why we've drifted apart. He has always been skeptical about therapy, believing it to be a sign of weakness. When I sought therapy a few months after the accident to handle my grief, he was dismissive, telling me to be stronger and not to give people the satisfaction of seeing me weak. A couple of years after the accident, my dad remarried, and this is where the dynamics in our family started to shift even more. His new wife had 2 children from a previous relationship, and from the start, it was clear that we wouldn't get along. Early on, she influenced my dad to make decisions that excluded me, such as not inviting me to their wedding. She also accused me of bullying her children because I set boundaries at my beach house, refusing to let them throw an unsupervised party and insisting they treat my staff with respect. Her children were teenagers at the time, and her daughter seemed to have assumed that the financial stability my dad appeared to have was a result of his own doing. In reality, a significant portion of the money was from my mom's will, which was left to me. I used this inheritance wisely, investing it and building a successful career in the tech field, which further solidified my financial independence. This seemed to be a point of contention, or perhaps jealousy from my dad's new wife. The situation escalated recently during a gender reveal party for the twins my dad and his wife are expecting. At the party, my dad announced that they planned to name the twins after my deceased siblings. This felt incredibly inappropriate and insensitive to me, considering the complex feelings associated with such a decision. I couldn't hold back and voiced my concern, suggesting that using my siblings' names was weird and perhaps not the best choice. His wife quickly dismissed me, accusing me of jealousy. The confrontation that ensued was heated. I expressed my frustrations about how my dad had changed, how he allowed his new wife to treat me poorly, and how he seemed to prioritize her and her children over me. I recounted how he hadn't even shown appreciation when I bought him a house to secure his living situation, and I mentioned how disappointed our siblings would be if they could see the state of our family now. My father told me to get out of his house, and as I'm about to leave, his wife comes up to me, and I kid you not says, "Don't let the door hit your butt all the way out." So I walk back and tell my dad that he and his wife had a month to leave my house. In the heat of the moment, I reminded them that the house they were living in was actually mine, and I told them they needed to find another place to live within a month. His wife broke down, and my dad accused me of being vindictive and ungrateful, further straining our already fragile relationship. Since then, I've received numerous messages from her family members demanding an apology from me, citing my behavior as unacceptable, especially given her pregnancy. My friends and some family members support my decision, believing that I was justified in standing up for myself. However, they also suggest perhaps allowing my dad to stay if he chooses to leave his wife, though I'm not inclined to offer such leniency. Reflecting on all this, I'm torn between the desire to uphold my boundaries and the guilt over the stress caused to a pregnant woman. Yet I keep coming back to the necessity of protecting my own mental and emotional health after years of feeling sidelined and unvalued. It's a complex situation, one that requires careful consideration and perhaps, in time, a path to reconciliation or at least a resolution that doesn't compromise my well-being for the sake of appeasing others. So, am I the a-hole? Now, for the top comments before the updates, not the a-hole. Kick them out. They shouldn't name their twins after your dad's siblings. It's totally wrong because your dad's siblings were born to your dad and mom and stepmom. They need to come up with other names. Your stepmom is a piece of work. I'm sorry for your loss of your mom and siblings. The way new wife has worked to cut Opie out of her father's life. It's not impossible. She's seeking to override Opie's siblings in her husband's mind. She was probably thinking dad has lots of money and valuable property she can get if she pushes Opie out. Ding, ding, ding. This happened to me and my brother when my dad went off to deep end during his midlife crisis. Like, Opie joke was on her because she never would have gotten the house my dad lived in, as it was basically willed to me by my brother. So there was no way for trashy girlfriend to get her grubby hands on it, no matter how deep of a word she made. She didn't even have a lot of money either, just more than she did since she refused to get a job. Whereas he had a state pension, military benefits, Medicare part-time job. I'm lucky, though, that my dad eventually wised up when she tried to pass her 4th pregnancy office. It wasn't possible because he had a vasectomy 20 years prior and dumped her. She was a walking dumpster fire at home. A relationship was a Jerry Springer Show episode. Stick to your guns. Your dad has become mental and your stepmom is the reason. Get them out of your house and go low contact or no contact until your dad gets therapy and comes to his senses. I know you said he doesn't believe in therapy, but make it conditional if he wants a relationship with you. He's wholly dependent on Opie for home and finances at least. So he has a stake. Something to lose. It's abundantly obvious where his loyalty lies, and it's not with his daughter. Update 1. Hey everyone, thanks so much for the support and condolences you've offered recently. It really means a lot during this tumultuous time. Many of you have been asking for details or expressed concern about the situation with my dad, so I wanted to take the time to really explain everything that's been going on, no details spared. To set the stage, my dad and I were very close before a tragic accident 8 years ago claimed the lives of my mom, younger brother, and sister. Since then, our relationship has drastically changed. Part of this shift might be because I resemble my younger sister, who was particularly close to him. It's a constant reminder of what was lost, and it seems to have put a strain on our interactions. A few years after the loss, I bought a house for my dad, thinking it might help mend our relationship. This house, which is under my name, was meant as a grand gesture of appreciation for all he had done for me, despite our growing distance. It was supposed to be a surprise to show how much I cared and hoped we could repair the bond we once shared. However, things haven't gone as planned. Over the years, I ended up footing the bill for almost all his expenses, covering everything from house maintenance to his day-to-day needs, without much acknowledgement or appreciation. It's been draining, both financially and emotionally. The tipping point came recently during a gender reveal party for his new twins with his second wife. At the party, he announced plans to name the twins after my deceased siblings. This might seem like a touching tribute at first glance, but the context made it feel like a misstep. To me, it felt less like honoring their memory and more like an attempt to cope with his grief by trying to replace them. The decision struck a nerve, especially since it seemed to symbolize an attempt to erase the painful past rather than confront and heal from it. I expressed my concerns during the party, which unfortunately escalated into a confrontation. His wife accused me of being jealous, which only added fuel to the fire. I ended up sharing a lot of pent-up feelings about how he had shifted his priorities, how he seemed to have changed since marrying his new wife, and how I felt sidelined in my own family. Following the party, I made the difficult decision to ask my dad and his wife to move out of the house I owned. I gave them a 30-day notice, legally proceeding with the eviction through my lawyer. This decision wasn't made lightly. It came after years of feeling underappreciated and somewhat used for the financial stability I offered. Some of you have suggested cutting off contact entirely, and while I'm considering it, I've decided to give my dad one more chance to bridge the gap between us. We've agreed to meet this weekend, just the two of us without his wife, to have a frank discussion about everything. I plan to suggest therapy as a condition for any further support because I genuinely believe he needs to address his grief and the way it's affected his relationships, not just with me, but with everyone around him. This meeting might very well determine the future of our relationship. If he's open to getting help and genuinely working on mending things, there might be a path forward. If not, I may have to accept that our paths will diverge, and I'll need to move forward with my life without him in it. I promise to keep you updated on how the meeting goes and what comes next. This situation isn't easy, and your support has been invaluable. Whether this weekend brings closure or a new beginning, I'll share the outcome with you all. Thanks again for being there when it feels like the ground is shifting under my feet. Update 2. Hey everyone, I really appreciate all the support and advice you've been giving. It's been super helpful. So, I finally had that talk with my dad I've been telling you about, and boy did things take a wild turn. We decided to meet at a coffee shop because it seemed like a nice, calm place to chat. At first, things were pretty stiff, like you could cut the tension with a knife. I told him everything that was on my mind. How weird it felt for him to want to name his new twins after my siblings who passed away. How tough it's been paying for his stuff, without him realizing how much it's straining me, and how distant we've become. I even brought up the idea of going to therapy together, hoping it might help fix some of our issues. Just as we were getting deep into our conversation, my dad's phone started going off like crazy. He tried to ignore it, but it kept buzzing, and he looked really worried. Finally, he took the call, and when he came back to the table, he looked like he'd seen a ghost or something. He told me his wife was rushed to the hospital because she was having the twins way earlier than expected. But that wasn't all. Here comes the major shocker. He wasn't sure if he was actually the father. Apparently his wife might have been seeing her ex, and the timing of the whole pregnancy was kind of suspicious. My dad was totally crushed. He felt so betrayed and confused because he really thought these twins would be a way to start fresh after all the sadness we've had. We didn't waste a minute and headed straight to the hospital. The whole ride there, my dad couldn't stop talking about how he missed so many signs because he just wanted to feel like he had a family again. When we got there, things got even more dramatic. Her ex showed up, and suddenly it was like a scene from a movie, shouting, arguing, and hospital security had to step in. My dad decided he needed a paternity test to see if he's really the father of the twins. While all this chaos was happening, he kept apologizing to me for letting our relationship fade and for not seeing how much pressure I was under. He promised he would start therapy, no matter what happens with the test, because he realized he's got a lot of stuff to sort out from everything that's happened since we lost my mom and siblings. It was a lot to take in. I'm feeling a mix of anger and sadness, but also a bit of hope that maybe things can get better. We agreed to slow things down and take it one step at a time. For now, he's staying in a hotel to give us both some space to think. We're planning to go to his first therapy session together next week. This wasn't the sort of resolution I was expecting, but it's a start, right? I'll keep you guys updated on what happens with the paternity test and how things go with the therapy. Thanks again for all the support. It means a lot during this crazy time. Update 3. Hey again, everyone. Thanks so much for all the support you've been giving me. It really helps to talk it out with you all. All right, let's dive in. Remember the whole mess about whether my dad was the father of the twins? Well, we finally got those paternity test results back. Drum roll. Yes, he is definitely the father. That should be good news, right? Well, it's complicated, like everything else in our lives right now. So here's the deal. Even though my dad is the biological dad of the twins, which is a huge relief, there's still a massive cloud hanging over us because of the affair his wife had. Yep, she did have an affair with her ex, which she admitted to after all the drama unfolded. She says it was a huge mistake, happening at a time when she felt really lonely and ignored by my dad. She's super apologetic and is trying to make things right, but it's not that simple. My dad, well, he's got a whirlwind of emotions going on. He's thrilled that he's the twins' dad, but he's also heartbroken and angry about the betrayal. It's like he's stuck at a crossroads, trying to figure out if he can ever trust her again and what that means for their marriage. For now, he's still staying in that hotel, giving himself some space to think things through. They've started going to couples therapy to see if they can sort through the mess of feelings and maybe salvage their relationship. It's going to be a long and tough journey for them, for sure. And me? I've been doing a lot of thinking myself. Supporting my dad through this has been really tough. I mean, he's my dad, and I love him, so I want to be there for him even when it's hard. We've been going to therapy together too, which has been surprisingly cool. We're talking about stuff we've never really talked about before, and it's helping us understand each other a lot better. It's weird, but talking about our feelings, really getting down to the nitty-gritty, is helping us reconnect in ways I didn't think were possible after all that's happened. It's like we're rebuilding our bridge, plank by plank, about the twins. They're really cute and healthy, which is awesome. I've been to see them a few times now, and it's kind of amazing to see parts of my family in them. It makes me think a lot about what family means and how sometimes forgiveness isn't just about saying, it's okay, but about understanding why things happened the way they did. So, what's next for us? I'm not totally sure. My dad has a lot to figure out with his wife. They have to decide if they can move past the affair and how they'll raise the twins together if they do stay together. As for me, I'm just taking things one day at a time, trying to be supportive and keep my own life on track. This whole situation has been a huge reminder of how messy and complicated family can be, but also how important it is to stick together and try to understand each other, even when it's super tough. Thanks for sticking with me through this family roller coaster. I'll keep you posted on how things go with my dad, the therapy, and everything else. Your messages and comments really mean the world to me, especially when things get overwhelming. So keep them coming. Until next time, take care and send good vibes our way. Update 4. My dad has made a huge decision. He's getting a divorce. Yeah, after all the ups and downs, the therapy sessions, and the roller coaster of emotions, he's decided that it's best for everyone if he and his wife go their separate ways. It's been a really tough call for him, but he feels it's the right move. Here's the lowdown. Dad and his wife have been trying really hard to patch things up, especially after the affair and everything that came with it. They went to couples therapy, talked a lot, and tried to work through their problems. But no matter how much they tried, my dad just couldn't shake off the hurt from the betrayal. He told me that he would wake up some days feeling okay, but then the reality would hit him all over again, and he'd be back to feeling sad and angry. One evening, he sat me down and explained his decision. He said he felt like he was stuck in a loop of unhappiness, and it wasn't fair to anyone, including his wife, to keep things going when his heart wasn't in it anymore. He was really calm, but I could tell it was super hard for him. When he told his wife, it was a pretty emotional scene. She was really upset and tried to persuade him to reconsider, saying they could try harder, go to more therapy, anything. But Dad was firm. He had thought it through and felt this was the best path forward for his peace of mind and for a healthier environment for everyone, especially the twins. Speaking of the twins, my dad is super clear about one thing. He adores them and wants the best for them no matter what. He's talking to lawyers to sort out joint custody because he wants to be an involved dad. He doesn't want the twins to ever feel like the divorce is their fault or that he loves them any less. It's really important to him that they grow up knowing both their parents love them loads. For now, Dad's still staying in the hotel, but he started looking for a new place. He's thinking about a fresh start in a new home where he can set up a nice space for the twins and create a peaceful life for himself. He's been looking at some cool places and even asked for my opinion on a couple, which felt nice. Our therapy sessions have been a godsend through all of this. They've helped us understand each other better and stay connected. It's like we're rebuilding our relationship from the ground up, which feels really good after everything that's happened. I've seen a change in him since he made this decision. There's a kind of relief, like he's finally breathing easier after holding his breath for a long time. He seems more focused and determined to build a better future, not just for himself, but for his kids too. So, that's where we are now. It's not the easiest path, but it feels like the right one. We've got a lot of adjusting to do, and there are still many details to figure out, especially with the divorce and custody arrangements. But I'm hopeful. It feels like we're moving towards something better, even if it's through tough changes. Thank you all so much for your messages, advice, and just for being there. This community has been incredible, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate every word of encouragement. I'll keep you updated as we navigate this new chapter. Here's to hoping for more positive updates soon. Stay tuned and keep those good vibes coming our way. Update 5. Hey everyone, I'm here with another update from our ongoing family saga. You all have been incredible with your support and advice, and I honestly don't know what I'd do without this community. So buckle up because a lot has happened since my last update. First off, the divorce proceedings between my dad and his wife are in full swing. Divorces can get pretty complicated, and this one is no exception. There's a bunch of legal stuff that needs to be sorted out, like who gets what and how they're going to split time with the twins. My dad is really focused on making sure everything is done fairly, especially for the twins' sake. He's working closely with his lawyer to sort through the legal jargon and make sure he stays a big part of his kids' lives. On a brighter note, my dad found a new place to live. It's a really nice house with plenty of room for the twins to play and have their own space when they come to stay with him. He's been putting a lot of energy into making it feel like a real home for them. Decorating and setting up a new house is a lot of work, but he's kind of using it as a way to heal and move forward. It's pretty cool to see him turning a tough situation into something positive. The twins are adjusting pretty well, all things considered. Dad and his soon-to-be ex are trying to work out the kinks in their co-parenting arrangement. They've set up a schedule that seems to work for everyone, giving Dad plenty of time with the twins. Sure, it's a little awkward and bumpy at times. After all, adjusting to new ways of doing family stuff is never easy. But they're both really trying to make it work because they want what's best for the twins. We're still hitting our therapy sessions together, and they're honestly a lifesaver. We've been learning a lot about how to talk to each other better and understand where we're both coming from. It's opened up a whole new level of conversation between us, which has been amazing for our relationship. Plus, Dad started seeing a therapist on his own to help him deal with the divorce and all the emotions that come with it. It seems to be really helping him cope with all the changes. Looking back at everything that's happened, it's been quite the roller coaster. But through all the ups and downs, there's a weird sense of hope and renewal. Dad is finding his way through the mess, focusing on creating a stable and happy life for himself and the twins. It's not easy, but he's really putting in the effort. It's inspiring to watch him handle everything with so much strength and determination. He's more engaged when we hang out, and I can tell he's genuinely trying to make the best out of a tough situation. It makes me think about how we all face challenges, but it's what we do in response that really shapes us. So, that's the latest from our side. Things are starting to settle into a new sort of normal, and we're all learning and growing a lot from the experience. Your support has been a cornerstone for us, and I'm so grateful for every message and piece of advice you've shared. I'll definitely keep you all posted as more developments come up. Here's to hoping the next update is even more positive, and thanks again for being part of our journey. Stay tuned and keep those good vibes coming our way. Update 6. Hey everyone! It's time for another big update from our family's wild ride. So much has happened, and I'm here to spill all the details. Your support and advice have been like a lighthouse in the storm for us, so thank you a million times over. Alright, so the first big news. My dad's divorce is finally officially complete. It's been a long and tough road with lots of papers to sign and decisions to make, but they managed to sort everything out fairly, especially when it comes to taking care of the twins. Dad's really relieved that all the legal stuff is behind him now, and there were no last-minute surprises to mess things up. Dad has finished setting up his new house, and let me tell you, it's turned out to be such a cozy and welcoming place. He went all out making sure the twins have awesome rooms. Each room is decorated just the way they like, with their favorite colors and themes. There's a play area where they can spread out their toys and games, and Dad's even started a little garden in the backyard for them to help with. It's been a huge project, but now that it's done, it feels like a real home for them. Things on the co-parenting front are looking up too. Dad and his ex-wife have finally found a good routine that works well for them and is great for the twins. The kids spend weekends and a couple of weekdays with Dad, and they're really loving the time they get to spend with him. Dad's been planning all sorts of fun activities, trips to the zoo, picnics in the park, and even a mini road trip last month. He's making sure that their time together is packed with fun and that they're making lots of happy memories. We're still doing our therapy sessions together, and honestly, these sessions have been a game changer. They help us talk things out, understand each other better, and deal with all the changes we've been going through. It's really strengthened our bond. Plus, Dad's personal therapy sessions are helping him a lot too. He's working through his feelings about the divorce and learning how to move forward in a healthy way. And guess what? Dad started dating again. It's really early days, but he met someone through a friend, and they seem to hit it off. They've been on a few dates, just getting to know each other. Dad's taking it super slow, just enjoying getting to know someone new and having some fun. It's great to see him happy and laughing again, and it feels like he's turning a new page in his life. Looking back at everything that's happened over the last few months, it's kind of amazing to see how much things have changed and how we've all grown from the experience. It wasn't easy to get through all the tough times, but now that we're here, I can see how much stronger it's made us as a family. Dad's journey from the tough times of his divorce to finding a new rhythm in life has been really inspiring. He's shown me that no matter how hard things get, there's always a way to make things better if you're willing to work for it and stay open to change. As always, thank you all so much for your support. Your kind words, advice, and just knowing you're there to listen has been incredibly helpful. I'll definitely keep you posted as more things unfold. Here's to hoping the next update brings even more good news. Stay tuned and keep sending those good vibes our way. Last update. Hey everyone. It's time for what might be the last major update for a while on everything that's been happening in our family's world. Your support, advice, and just being there to listen has meant the world to us, so I'm excited to share where we are now. First things first, the divorce is completely in the rearview mirror now, and Dad has really found his groove again. The whole co-parenting setup with his ex-wife is going much smoother than any of us expected. The twins are having a blast and really enjoy the time they spend at both houses, which is a huge relief. Dad's been all about making their days fun and educational. Whether it's a weekend science project or a day out at the local museum, he's really throwing himself into the dad role like a champ. Dad's house has truly turned into a home. He's put the final touches on decorating, and it's filled with all sorts of cozy corners and fun spaces for the twins. They have their own rooms, decked out exactly how they like. The backyard garden is thriving too. They've got tomatoes, cucumbers, and even a few pumpkins growing. It's their little green oasis, and you should see how proud they are when they show off their gardening skills. We're still hitting our therapy sessions together regularly, and I can't stress enough how much they've helped us. It's our time to talk things out, catch up on feelings, and make sure we're on the same page. Plus, Dad's personal therapy sessions are really helping him stay positive and balanced. It's like he's learning new ways to handle stress and change, and I can see how much happier he is because of it. Okay, on to some really sweet news. Dad's new relationship is going beautifully. He's been dating his girlfriend for several months now, and things are getting pretty serious. She's super nice, really fun, and gets along great with the twins. She's even come along on a few family outings, and it's been awesome to see how well she fits in with us. Watching Dad so happy and relaxed with someone new has been a joy for all of us. It's like he's got a whole new lease on life. Looking back over the past months, it's wild to think about all we've been through. From the shock of the divorce to settling into new routines, it's been a roller coaster. But somehow, we've come out the other side stronger and closer than ever. Dad's resilience and commitment to making the best out of a tough situation have really inspired me. It shows how much you can achieve when you stay positive and lean on the people who care about you. I really can't say thank you enough to all of you here. Sharing our ups and downs, getting your advice, and just knowing you're rooting for us has made such a difference. While this update wraps up the big storm of changes, I'll still pop in to share how we're doing from time to time. As we look forward, we're all feeling hopeful and excited about what the future holds. Dad's turning a new page, the twins are growing up surrounded by love and joy, and I feel like we've all learned a ton about facing challenges head on. Thanks again for being a part of our journey. Here's to moving forward, finding joy in the little things, and embracing whatever comes our way with a big smile. Can't wait to catch up again soon. Keep sending those good vibes and sharing your stories too. Here's to sunny days ahead for all of us.